Hello, hello, hello. Oh, no. Well, we have to do something about that, don't we? We have to reverse this image. Here we go. There! Hi, everybody. Nothing like preparing for the electric setup and then switching to acoustic at the 11th hour, in the last minute of the penultimate second. I'm up here in the window position, looking out at some people cavorting out there on the old polluted Hudson River, which is shining quite prettily at the moment. It's very, very warm here in New York, maybe too warm, so I'm sort of in your basic skivvies, let's say short shorts and some old tennis shoes, and yeah, and it feels good. There's a nice breeze coming in off that river. And I'm here to play for you, it being Thursday. It is Thursday, right? Yeah. The 27th, is it already, or 28th? I know that we're fast approaching the tragic anniversary of Jeff Buckley's passing, which is May 28th. Must be the 20th. I think that's Saturday. So I will do a special show dedicated to Jeff on Saturday coming. But for now, please enjoy. what the heck is going on out there, man? There's low-flying planes, black helicopters, all sorts of like strange noises coming through the window. Oh, I think they're towing somebody. That's the sound of somebody's car getting towed. Yeah, there it is. Poor guy, poor gal. I don't drive. I don't have those problems. And I recused myself from driving. I think I was a reasonably good driver for many, many years. I got my license when I was 16 up in Syracuse and was driving fine. And then one day on the way to a gig in Vermont with Caroline in the car, all strapped in, both of us, we were up on the Taconic Freeway heading up to Vermont for a gig, and hit a patch of black ice. Really frightening. I didn't even know about black ice until this episode. And the car did 360-degree spin-arounds, so that the traffic that was coming behind us was suddenly coming at us. And we looked at each other briefly like, okay, goodbye to you, because it was it appeared that we would be goners within milliseconds. Somehow or another, I wrenched control of the wheel. But it was acting peculiar because on black ice, if you would turn it to the left, it wouldn't respond until about a delayed response, 10 seconds after wrenching the wheel in that direction. And then it would spin around wildly in that direction. So I had no control over it for some crucial seconds. But anyway, I did manage to get the car off the road at a very high rate of speed and stop it definitively in a soft shoulder on the side of this Taconic Freeway. I mean, it was really, everybody was driving too fast, as they do. You know, no one was really observing the 55 mile per hour speed limit. Everybody was racing to get wherever they thought they needed to be in a hurry. And there was maybe only one car length between me and the guy in front of me, and all the way down the chain. So when something like this happens, often you get enormous pileups of twisted metal and injured people, not to say dead. And we could have been one of those casualties, but somehow, you know, I had that providence on my side at that moment. So Caroline's reaction was just startled, and she basically yelled at me like the whole thing was my fault, which maybe it was, because, I mean, maybe had I been prudently driving at 55 off on one side of the road, this might not have occurred. But I blame it on the guy in front of us, because he kept short-stopping to look at a road map, like, do I have to take this turn? And it was the turn to, what else? The Sleepy Hollow exit. You know, so it was like, if you know your Washington Irving and your stories about Brom Bones and Katina, his girlfriend, and yeah, that whole jive, there's something haunted going on up there. There's that Nathaniel Hawthorne. Maybe it's Washington Irving. I gotta check. It's all good. So anyway, thank you for checking it on me on Thursday. I'm a bit between sixes and sevens, as they say. I have great news about Jason Candler. Now, we are almost at 50K raised for his and Lily and Jacob, for both Jason's medical expenses, and his insurance won't cover, and their living expenses for a while. I'm not sure 50K is even going to do it. It probably is going to fall short. So we're just going to have to put the touch on everybody all over again. But it's amazingly gratifying to see everybody who's contributed respond in such an effusive manner. Gee, it is noisy out there, isn't it? But I need that breeze right now. Or it's back to the other spot and air conditioning. Maybe the next time you see me on Saturday, I'll be there. And that'll be for the Jeff Buckley Show. But anyway, I'm going to go up and see Jason right after this. So I may not be able to respond to anybody's comments until I get back. So bear with me. I'd like to at least like everybody. You know, some days I'll get in there and interact and respond to stuff. Boy, there's some aggressive people out there, I think. But Jason is actually, according to Lily, eating whatever he likes now. This is good. He couldn't swallow until a few weeks ago even. He walked with a walker for a couple of hours. That's amazing. So things are getting back there to normal, or at least, you know, more normal than they were for the last several months. Great news. And, you know, his spirit is fantastic, I gotta tell you. I've never seen someone who had a more positive attitude. And, you know, he just can't wait to resume daily life. So I'll give you further updates as they come in. But I think we're just under 1250 that needs to be put in the kitty, and then we're at 50K. And then I don't know what happens with GoFundMe. Maybe bells go off and, you know, the cash register goes ka-ching, and they deposit all that money. The beneficiary is Lily, folks, in case anybody was wondering. Not I. I'm merely, you know, the administrator insofar as I set up the fund and I do the updates. And I know that when Jason is capable of getting on his computer to really address these things, he will personally thank every one of you. I'll make him do it in lieu of my I wouldn't say inability, but just I'm overwhelmed by details of life myself. I just had another round of doctor going. I mean, it's nothing compared to stroke victims, of course, but some painful episodes here and there, arthritic and otherwise. But as you can see, my hands are just fine, and I'm enjoying playing this guitar, which I haven't picked up, I don't know, in a month or so. But, you know, there's muscle memory. I'm more enjoying the electric these days. I have a whole spate of recording coming up very soon, and I'm looking forward to that, primarily electric. I've been a busy bee in the studio, and there must be 5 or 6 albums, you know, in various stages of preparation to come out here, there, and everywhere. But again, I don't want to like pull my punches and give it away. So I'll wait a bit to reveal it. But I want to thank AAA. This is my friend, Paul Ryan, who I've never met. He resides down somewhere in Australia, down under, maybe in the outback, not sure. He's a kind of a camper sort. He definitely likes to go out and rough it. But this guy is a whiz with his phone, because he's put all of these promos together and edited them, put them to music for the last few months for me on a continuous basis for nothing. And that is something these days. I mean, you know, he has my undying gratitude and love for this. And whatever I seem to throw at him, he comes up with something interesting, if not fantastic. And case in point today, I've become recently fascinated by the etchings of Giovanna Battista Piranesi, who was an Italian geezer who was active around the 18th century in Italy, from Venice originally, I believe, who did amazingly detailed renderings of the actually ruins around Rome, basically, that were already ruins that dated back to BC, including the Colosseum and, you know, the various things that are still there, sort of more or less under either great custodianship or general dissuaditude. They've been kind of neglected, in other words. And there's a lot of vegetation sprouting around them, but still worth a trip to Rome to see these things. But his renderings are so astonishingly detailed and lifelike and dark. You know, I mean, the image that I posted today is from a whole series he did on imaginary prisons. If you can imagine the more uh, quixotic, how would you say this, subject. Uh, you know, the image today is of staircases basically leading nowhere inside a foundry, some sort of like penal system, and with little figures, if amazing attention to detail. I posted them the last few days at night, about midnight, on Facebook. Facebook doesn't do justice to them. But anyway, he took one and inserted a figure of me walking up and down these stairs that really lead nowhere. If you follow him, I would say M.C. Escher was definitely a disciple of Piranesi. Piranesi got there first. I could also add Albrecht Dürer and Gustave Doré into the mix. These are other fantastic graphic artists of the period that I love for the way that they capture so much in these engravings, which are basically, you know, acid spilled on brass templates often. I don't know how they controlled the image so well, but they were definitely masters. But right after I posted this graphic promoting today's show, which is this image of Piranesi's, I got a notice on Facebook that they thought the BBC, they had to take down the image because they thought it was owned by the BBC. And did I have anything to say about that in my defense? And I wrote them right back. The BBC absolutely do not have any exclusive rights to these images. They've been in the public domain forever. Case in point, you can find many of them in the Dover Books cheapo edition, rendered beautifully for your delectation, as you can find Gustave Doré and, you know, all sorts of beautiful graphic art. So then they put it back up. I don't know exactly what triggered that. It could be that I mentioned the BBC, but hardly in a disparaging way, in an article just published on pleasekillme.com, all about these kind of crazy interactions I had with a hero of mine growing up and to this day, and that would be Vivian Stanchel, the amazing ringmaster of the Bonzo Dog Doo-Dah Band, laterly the Bonzo Dog Band. And Vivian has, had an amazing life. There's a very good biography by Chris Welch, who used to be a Melody Maker staff writer, called A Ginger Geezer, which is good. And I know Mike Barnes, I gotta send him this. My old friend who's wrote a fantastic biography of Captain Beefheart. He's a big Vivian fan, and I regaled him many times with these stories of Vivian in New York City in about 1979, and our encounter. But please read it, and please support Please Kill Me. It's a great repository for all sorts of interesting writings about cool people you may not know about in all sorts of categories of music and otherwise. And, let's see, I should just play the guitar, right? To quote Frank Zappa. yeah, please allow me to look at you again. A Chinese pop song, very beautifully, originally rendered by Zhou Xuan, the golden voice of China. And I had the distinct privilege of recording this back in the 90s with Celeste Chong. Big shout out to Celeste. I believe she's still up in Canada, but she's from Singapore originally, which is a lovely place to visit, where my ex-wife Ling hailed from. Via Malaysia, that's another story. But now doing it, when we do it live, I have a great partner, Feifei Yang, and I hope she is well. She's been in New York pretty much for the duration. And yeah, I can't wait to get back together with her and play again. And let's see, it's so bright out there. I don't know how this is going to register, but this is the view currently. They're still working on these buildings. A great job if you can get it, I tell you. So everybody, thank you for listening and watching. And I'll play for you again a special tribute to Jeff Buckley, late great partner and collaborator Jeff Buckley, this Saturday at 3 p.m. Please tell all your friends who are Jeff fans that I'll play a whole variety of stuff from our repertoire. And looking forward to see you then. Until that time, I hope you're still wearing that mask. I am in most situations. I mean, at my age, I have to, because it's still a very deadly virus out there. But apparently, according to one of these doctors I consulted yesterday, it is defeating all variants, including the Indian variety, which is plaguing the UK right now. I hope they don't go into lockdown again. To all my English friends. And I'll see you on Saturday, okay? And vaya con Dios and all that good stuff. Love you guys. Bye.